Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gina Marie Agdarian. I am the author of The Letters in the Old House, available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. I will have a link to purchase the book in the description below. So today is another episode of Book Talk. This is a series I do where I talk about a book that I recently read, what I liked, what I didn't like about it, and help you ultimately determine if you would like to read this book. So today I am talking about The Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Iger, or as many of you may know him as Bob Iger. Bob Iger, for those of you who don't know, is the current CEO of Disney. He was the CEO for quite some time. He retired, was replaced by Bob Chapek, whatever. People really didn't like him. So he was booted out and they brought Bobby back to clean up his mess. So he's got another couple of years left as the CEO, and then he will be succeeded by somebody else. Anyway, this story of Bob's was an interesting one. Certainly he has done a lot and lived through a lot and really just has had many accomplishments that can certainly not be disputed despite if you're a Disney fan or not. Now I will say I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. I will of course explain my rating. I do believe that if you're going to read this book, you should have at least an interest in Disney or be a Disney fan or have an interest in business or television, because a lot of it just really centers around his career. So it's not necessarily a memoir. It's more of the lessons that he's learned, at least that's how it's billed on the cover, and different things that he's accomplished, mistakes that he's made and things he's gone through. And that's really what this book is about. It's not so much about his family and his personal life. And while he does mention family members and stuff that happened in his personal life, it's not really about that. It's really about his professional accomplishments. So that being said, I don't think this appeals to everybody. If you just absolutely hate Disney for whatever reason, or you're not interested in Disney, you're not, you just have no interest in it, I don't think this is a book you should skip altogether, I think. I'm usually not a big nonfiction reader. I really have to be interested in the person or in the subject in order to read a nonfiction book. I'm more of a fiction reader if you've seen my other videos. So this one was a little bit different for me. My husband very strongly encouraged me to read this book because I am a huge Disney fan. So there was a lot of stuff in here that I did find interesting or that I really kind of resonated with me. Ultimately with this story, I take it with a grain of salt in some ways. Now, a lot of what he's going to say, I think, is going to be almost candified or smoothed over because he is still in a position of power. I don't believe at the time of the publishing he was still CEO. He may have been, I have to double check that. But he's still very much in the public eye right now, especially coming back and being CEO for a second time. So the book talks about how he rose through the ranks in television at ABC, then ABC was bought by Disney, and he's had a multitude of different jobs in all different aspects of the company, both in ABC and in Disney, which of course ABC is now owned by Disney. I do think it's not maybe as candid as it could have been, and I'm not saying that Bob Iger needs to open up his entire life and share it with us, but it almost felt a little too perfect, a little too manufactured. That's my take on it anyway. I wasn't there when any of these things happened when he was talking about them in the book, so I can't really say for sure if something is true, not true, kind of glossed over a little bit. Not quite sure. That's just how it felt to me. I do think he had a lot of really important messages and lessons in his book here. I do think though he could have dug a little bit deeper with certain things. I also think he kind of threw Michael Eisner under the bus a little bit, as much as he kept saying he respects and admires Michael Eisner for his achievements. I do think at some point when a CEO kind of runs their course, people start to dislike them within the company and the shareholders and all that. So that was another kind of gripe that I had with it, which lowered the rating. So It's a solid story overall if you just kind of want to take it with a grain of salt and read through his different achievements, accomplishments. There are some pictures in here. I kind of wish there were more pictures because it's interesting. Like he's in Shanghai Disneyland. He's with Chadwick Boseman at the Black Panther premiere, which is really cool. It was a nice picture of them. So like some really nice pictures of him and Steve Jobs, but I just wish there were more, especially being in that position of power where you have access to so many different people and so many different experiences and opportunities. I just wish there were some more pictures included or maybe sprinkled more throughout the book. That would have added to it, I think. But overall, good book if you're a Disney fan or even a casual Disney fan or somebody who is interested in learning how he got to his position. He grew up in Long Island, and I'm from Jersey, if you can't tell by me talking. So kind of relate to him on that end as well, just kind of being from like a working class town area. So that was interesting. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth or anything like that. He truly worked to where he is today. So overall, 3.5 stars, The Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Iger. Let me know in the comments if you've read this book, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you plan on reading it. And as always, guys, happy reading.